We have an epidemic of unhealthy relationships right now. 2024, our society has been constructed in such a way that people are just falling into relationships with each other without any thought process, without any conscious awareness. And it's creating this deep seated level of dysfunction that is impossible to navigate in a wholesome, healthy way. I've been single for about 4 years now. And in that time, I've done several things. I've done a huge amount of shadow work and healing and work on self care and loving myself and learning about myself, learning about the people around me, how I interact with them. And I've also found myself in this observational state where I'm watching myself and my reactions to things and bringing this level of self awareness into the relationship side of my life. And I'm also watching other people. And it's given me so much data that makes me concerned. And the data I've gathered from doing that has me very concerned. People are falling into relationships because they're lonely. Okay, I understand that. That's a typical one. We all understand that feeling of not having someone around to share those memories with, to share those times with. But a lot of that is habit because if you love yourself and you're happy with yourself and you're content in your own skin, you don't need to have that. And if you come at a relationship from a point of wholeness and happiness with yourself, when you get into a relationship, there's not that desperate need dynamic. The codependency is not there. So it's something that is nice to have, something that improves your life rather than something that dictates your life. People are getting into relationships because they have good sex, because someone makes you laugh, because somebody shares the same trauma that you share. We are connecting with other people in a way that we are supposed to do as part of this human experience that we have. And then we are mistaking that connection for a need to be in a relationship with that person. There is a deep level of lack of self worth that underpins all of this. And I know I talk about this all the time. Self care, self love is so important. It really is pivotal for all things, whether you want to succeed in business, in life, in family. I don't know. But if you're in a situation where you're looking for someone else to complete you, to be your better half, to validate you, that's not a reason to get in a relationship. Do not get in a relationship at that stage. Also, I'm just going to say it, being physically attracted to someone and having great sex with them doesn't mean that you should create a coupling and a bond. Sharing time with someone, sharing musical tastes with someone, sharing a friendship group with someone, none of these are good reasons to get into a relationship. Like whether you get into a single bonded relationship with one person or whether you're in a polyamorous situation or an ethically non-monogamous situation, doesn't matter what your situation is. The theory is the same. You should have enough self-worth, enough self-care to feel whole by yourself. And you should be choosing consciously with awareness the people that you decide to bond with in a romantic way. We truly live in a time where dysfunctional empath narcissist relationships are everywhere. There is a reason that narcissist is such a buzzword now. If you're on YouTube, if you're on TikTok, if you're on Instagram, if you type in narcissist, you are going to get millions of hits because we are creating these relationships with dynamics that are not healthy. They don't come from a healthy, whole, loving place. They come from a place of desperation, fear, insecurity. There is an impulsive nature that is being linked with getting into relationships. And I'm not saying if you get into a relationship that should be whole and sanctimonious for the rest of your life and you should only be in one relationship, you should marry one person for the rest of your life. I do not adhere to that. I don't even adhere to the fact that there is one person for you in a lifetime. Personally, I think that's nonsense. I think there are different people to serve different roles in your life at different times in your life. However, if we don't have a level of discernment for the people that we decide to attach ourselves to, how can we ever hope to navigate this world and feel spiritually and emotionally whole? When there are aspects of ourselves that we dislike, that have caused other people to withdraw from us, we shut those aspects off And that's where we start to shut down our feelings of self-worth. Even if you haven't been through trauma, or there's nothing you can think of where you have felt like you weren't loved enough, there are always going to be, as part of the human nature that we have and our monkey mind that always goes to the most negative thing possible, there are always going to be situations that make you feel subconsciously not worthy, not enough, not loved enough. And when we have these things in ourselves, maybe somebody left a relationship with you, left a friendship with you, or one of your parents distanced themselves because of your anger or your jealousy or whatever personality trait it was, you then demonize that. And this is where shadow work comes in, when you have to work on yourself to make yourself whole and to give yourself the care and the love that you deserve, so that you can attract better, more wholesome relationships, and so that you stop just tripping up and falling into the next relationship without any thought. I strongly encourage you, if you think that you are in this pattern of just falling into relationships without any real deep level of thought, to work on yourself, to sit with yourself, to think about what aspects of yourself do you not like? What aspects of yourself are you pushing away, and why? And how can you bring them back into a place of love? Because love is complete acceptance, right? And if we have this from ourselves, we no longer need to find this empty validation from other people, and our relationships will be more wholesome, they will be stronger, there will be dramatically deeper connections that you will form. I'm not making this video from any place of judgment, just a place of observation. And this isn't about promiscuity or sexual frivolousness. I have absolutely no thoughts on that, no judgment on that at all. Sex is something very separate from relationships. This is something that I think trips people up. In my mind, in my understanding, in my knowledge of myself and my own life experience, your sexual experiences don't define your romantic experiences, or they shouldn't. Lack of boundaries is another reason people seem to be tripping over themselves to fall into relationship. When you spend time with someone, deeply connecting, and you don't think through what you want out of the experience, and therefore you don't set any boundaries for yourself or for the other person, it's very easy to suddenly find yourself in a relationship that you did not even plan to get in. That is not a relationship that has very much hope of standing the test of time, if there is a test of time. I have a relentless belief that every human being has the potential to experience deep, wholesome connection and abundance and a fantastic life experience. But in order to make that true, you need to have some self awareness. You need to make conscious decisions. Great communication ties into this, because if you can communicate clearly your needs, wants, and desires, thoughts, and feelings with yourself, and then the next step is to communicate those things with the people around you. And if everybody can elevate their communication to a place where we're all speaking our truth from a place of love, we have a much better chance of forming a wonderful society full of loving relationships that are wholesome and nourishing. You deserve happiness. You deserve the moon and the stars. So go get it. As always, guys, have the best day.